Now they're talking about how fake news is the problem. Is it really fake news? Let's talk about this. We're going to do another show, Golden Showers, Donald Trump, and Treason, Part 2. This is We the People. I watched Donald Trump's so-called news conference today, or at least part of it. I had difficulty watching the entire thing because, quite honestly, I can't take listening to that much of a babbling idiot for too long. I already had a 4-year-old son once. I really am not interested in watching a grown man pretend to be one. Although he's not pretending, he's still 4. The point is this. He said it was fake news, called CNN fake news. Even over at MSNBC, good old Chuck Todd is talking about how BuzzFeed is promoting fake news, and we'll get to that later on. But here's the point. First of all, I've had some accusers of my own pointing fingers at me today in reference to what I put out there. And I'll tell you this, I've often said this. I am not a journalist. I do commentary, editorial. I have the artistic license to tell you that monkeys fly and pigs swim in salt water, but that don't make it true. I try to give you truth. The truth as I see it, the truth as I know it, but I never have pretended to be a journalist. I don't have the ability to do the deep background on things, nor the time, nor the money. People have accused me of spreading fake news. Well, it's not fake news, and I'll tell you why it's not. This document has been circulating through the news media for 6 months in one fashion or another. Every single news organization that I've watched on TV and looked at on YouTube and read on the internet, every major news outlet has this document in some fashion, in some form, on their desk. The only people who don't know about this document are you and me. They've been keeping the secret. Now, we'll get to why on that later. But here's the second thing. The document didn't come from a news journalist. It came from an MI6 operative that has been verified by the FBI and the CIA, by the way. They know who this man is, and they have verified the source for this material. They have yet to verify his sources, but they have verified that he is a man. He does exist. He does have long connections in Russia from his previous intelligence position within MI6. All that's a fact. They can't dispute that. They don't discuss it. So it didn't come from a journalist, and it didn't come from somebody in Tajikistan making stuff up on the internet and calling it news, trying to get clickbait. Then it went to an FBI agent. Then it went to John McCain. Then it went to Lindsey Graham and Harry Reid and the FBI through a back door. My point is this. A lot of people have looked at this document, and apparently there are some people in the U.S. government who feel there's some validity to it. Otherwise, it would have been thrown in the trash in November. But it wasn't. They have hidden it from you and me for more than 6 months. I say it again. Harry Reid talked about this in his letter to James Comey prior to the election. If I recall the dates, But the Harry Reid letter to Jim Comey said, we know you have intelligence regarding Donald Trump's connections to Russia. We demand that you investigate and release. This is what he was talking about months ago. But it's fake news. I ask you, has anybody ever tried this hard to hide fake news from you? Has anybody tried to hide this information or any information that they want to spread around? Do they try to hide these things from you? No, they don't. If they've got something juicy that they're trying to sell, a con job to you, they want to put it out there as fast as they can because they want to get those clicks. They don't hold on to that juicy piece of meat for 6 months. It has passed through CNN's hands, through NBC, through CBS, through ABC, through BuzzFeed, through New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, Fox News, every news agency in the country that is of any substance has this document, and they've had it in some form for months. Now, they will tell you that this is because they don't publish anything they can't verify. And I understand that. I truly do. I get it. Makes perfect sense to me. But that being said, my question is this. We've got the possibility that there's some validity to this because otherwise the FBI and the CIA would not be investigating it. They wouldn't bother with it. They'd throw it away. And they're not throwing it away. James Clapper, the head of the intelligence office for the United States, currently has released a statement saying that he has talked to Donald Trump tonight in regards to this. He has confirmed that he spoke, or at least intelligence sources spoke to Donald Trump, telling him about this document. And yet Donald Trump denies anyone ever said anything. Kellyanne Conway denies they've seen it. Sean Spicer denies it exists. Reince Priebus denies it. Why do these people keep denying something when the James Clapper is releasing a statement saying that he has spoken to Donald Trump about it? Why hide the fact that you had a conversation? The only reason you want to deny a conversation is because actually saying that you've had the conversation means that you might give some validity to it, or you allow it into the light of day. And Donald doesn't want this in the light of day. Does the BuzzFeed document carry any weight? I don't know. I can't speak to it. Somebody else has to do that. But I can tell you, it seems coincidental that he's been kissing Vladimir Putin's ass for the last year and a half. And this comes out. It seems coincidental that he spent all that time over in Russia, doing business over in Russia, and he claims he has no ties with Russia. Then out of the other door comes Donald Jr., who says they have all kinds of business in Russia. They can't even make up their mind what their business is. Rex Tillerson works for Exxon. Exxon had a $500 billion deal for oil and gas rights in Russia. That deal was tanked by Obama's sanctions on Russia for Crimea and the Ukraine invasion. But why would Donald Trump give Secretary of State to the head of Exxon, who wants to close a $500 billion deal with Russia? But it's fake news, right? It's fake news. You see, this would be a plausible denial if there was nothing else to base it on, if you had no other truth in front of you. But you've got Rex Tillerson. You've got Rudy Giuliani and Michael Flynn, who have both been over in Russia extensively and done business with Russia. You've got Paul Manafort, who actually did political work for the former president of the Ukraine, who fled the Ukraine after basically committing fraud and embezzling the country for millions, who happens to be a friend of Vladimir Putin. This was before the fall of the Crimea. All these things add up. So we've got Paul Manafort, former political operative for a Ukrainian tyrant who's best friends with Vladimir Putin. You've got Rudy Giuliani and Mike Flynn, who are both paid to go over and do party functions. I don't know what they were doing, but they were having dinner with Vladimir Putin and hanging out with him. I'm sorry, but an American general hanging out with Vladimir Putin on a Friday night is not normal, nor is it for a New York City mayor. It's just not normal, especially if they're getting paid to do it. Then you got Rex Tillerson, chief of Exxon, $500 billion deal for the oil and gas rights in northern Russia. And now suddenly he's going to be Secretary of State. I don't know. Does it sound like fake news? Do you think it's fake news, really? I can't even begin. If I can't convince you that there is something here worth considering, then you're far too lost for me to get to, and you need to move on and maybe go listen to Breitbart, or spend your time listening to Alex Jones, or go hide your head in your liberal hole and just blocks things out and go watch RT for a while. But the fact of the matter is, there is something here. And if you refuse to admit that, to see that there is something here, then we're all wasting our time, because we're going to be Russian soon, and it won't matter. Let me just end on this note. What is fake news? Fake news is information it's fiction created for the purposes of stirring up voices. It's propaganda. It's clickbait, okay? It is complete fabrication for the purpose of generating interest or income, okay? Propaganda such as anything Alex Jones talks about on any given day of the week, 90% of the stuff on Breitbart. But what fake news really is not is hard information, okay? Or for lack of it, let's use the word intelligence, if you will. Hard information. And this is what that is. This BuzzFeed document, this dossier that everybody's talking about, is hard information. We know that it comes from a credible intelligence source from Britain Intelligence Services. That's verified through American Intelligence Services. This man is credible. So we have a document that was written or participated by a credible intelligence officer. I think that's news. Just right there. Leave the rest of it alone. Now it's worth reading because it comes from a credible source. Now, are his sources credible? That's for somebody else to track down. But what did he find out? This is no different than Kellyanne Conway getting on and talking her spiel about what she thinks or what she knows. This is what this man found out from the people that he talked to, which is no different than WikiLeaks. This is WikiLeaks. There you go. For all you liberals out there who love Julian Assange, if you love Julian Assange and you love WikiLeaks, then you should love this. Because the fact of the matter is, it's the same damn thing. But you won't give it any credit because it didn't come from Julian. No, it didn't. Because Julian gets his stuff from Russia. But we won't do that. We won't go there. The point is this. It's credible information. Is it all factual? Probably not. Even BuzzFeed admits that there are flaws in this document. The link that I presented yesterday, and we'll put at the bottom of this, will show you that they say clearly some of the information is questionable. But that's true of any intelligence document, because you never know for sure where it comes from and how valid the information is. Was it generated for the purposes of propaganda against someone in particular. Well, I'm sure Donald Trump feels that way, but it doesn't sound like propaganda to me. It sounds like honest investigative work, and some of the information in there just doesn't pan out properly. I may be wrong, but that's why I'm not an intelligence officer with MI6 or the CIA. Is it income propaganda? No, because they've held this in their hands for more than 6 months and nobody's made $1 off of it. BuzzFeed found out that CNN was going to talk about this document on the air last night. So they said, in the event that it's going to be talked about, then the public should know what is being talked about. Now today, Chuck Todd told the editor of BuzzFeed, well, you're participating in fake news. And I'm thinking to myself, Chuck Todd, you're an idiot and a complete prick, because you are fake news. How many times have you sat there on your show and had a politician tell you a blatant and absolute outright lie to your face, and you did nothing to question him? You are propagating fake news when you allow politicians to lie to you on television. That's fake news because they are selling propaganda to the American people, and you're allowing it to happen, which makes you a force of propaganda. You are working in conjunction with them to feed us garbage. So, with all due respect, Mr. Todd, fuck you. I'm done on this. I won't talk about this again until they have something of substance to talk about. I'll leave it to the talking heads on CNN, and there's 5 of them talking right now, so they're staying busy. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. If you have anything you'd like to talk to me about personally, you'd like to email me, you'd like to comment on the show, WTPAmerica@hotmail.com. Visit the blog, WTPAmerica.org, or go to www.patreon.com/WTPAmerica and become a patron. My name is Alan Garrett. This is We the People. Non-journalism, commentary, information for those who want to be informed. Resist.